Welcome back to Prime Time. We've got our Primetime Power panel with us. Governor Brown is set to sign a bill allowing undocumented immigrants to have driver's license. Some say this will allow millions of people to drive to work safely and legally, but others say a license is a privilege. Joining us now to talk about this bill and all the controversy behind it is trial attorney Cezanne Uyghur, criminal defense attorney Ellen Bloom, and we have attorney Narciso Cruz and civil attorney Rory Pendergrass.
Good afternoon.
Welcome back to
Thank
Prime Time. This is your first time on Prime Time.
Hopefully not the last.
Well, we're going to see how good you get.
Yeah.
We're going to heat things
Definitely
up.
goes.
And remember, we're going to leave it all on the table. Anything
That's
goes.
fine.
Bring it on. This is a safe forum to just put it all out there.
Let's do it.
Just don't say any bad language.
No worries.
Languages, whether Spanish, English, whatever.
No, that's
Nothing
that's
foul.
fine. Yeah.
Keep it clean.
Okay, let's start the game rolling. I have a feeling that you are for the drive.
That's a great guess. That's
Shocker, right? Why don't you, let's start with you guys, the pros, why you think this is a good idea.
Taylor, if you will, I'd like you to imagine a child walking 4 miles every day to school because her mother's vehicle was impounded. Now, this is actually a true story. This happened in Long Beach, California, and it happened to this woman, the mother. Her name is Justine. This happened because she did not have a driver's license. She did not have the proper documentation to get one, and as a result, she is actually losing her car because she can't pay the $1,200 impound fee. And now, because she doesn't have a car, she also lost her job. And as a result, her daughter now has to walk 4 miles to attend the 5th grade. Now, this story isn't very typical. In fact, this is a very common story here in California. In fact, the DMV released a study that showed that about 12% of California drivers don't have a license. That's about 1 million drivers in the state of California alone. And what the DMV study showed is that these drivers who don't have a license are 2.73 times more likely to cause a fatal accident. Now, you have to live in reality. We can't live in some sort of what's right and what's wrong world. We have to live in reality. The reality is immigrants are in this country. They live in California, they go to work, they pay taxes, they contribute to the economy, and they drive without licenses. Now, in Justine's story, she was driving without a license and she was pulled over because she made a very dangerous turn. Now, the officer actually pulled her over, took away the driver's license, and took away the vehicle because she didn't have a driver's license. Now, if this doesn't pull your heartstrings, it's fine, because the aim of the bill is really to make California streets a lot safer. California bill, the driver's license bill, is going to allow immigrants who are eligible for this program to pass, to take that written exam, to take that driver's license exam, the same exam everyone takes. And if they pass, they're eligible for insurance. The insurance industry supports this bill. It will lower insurance costs for all Californians. Bottom line, we could discuss who's eligible for what, who has a right to get this benefit, who has a right to get that benefit. But bottom line, you have to ask yourself, are you in favor for safer streets? Are you in favor to reduce the number of uninsured motorists in the state of California? Are you in favor of potentially saving lives? If you are, you have to be in favor of this bill.
Well, when he puts it that way,
I
how are you
agree.
going to
I
review
strongly
this?
agree.
Okay, we're gonna throw it over to Cezanne, and we're gonna take turns here.
I think at the very base of what this law is doing, it's kind of an affront to American citizenship. It is making what is illegal legal. That goes, it's a little schizophrenic, I think. It's kind of circular logic. So you're here in this country illegally, but we're going to now grant you a privilege. What? I don't get that. And I think to your point about making streets safer, I do think immigration reform is something that obviously you have to look at it from a common sense perspective. It's not going away. We're not going to deport the 10 million people that are here in this country illegally. But it's the chicken and the egg, argument. What do we do first? How can we make, immigration reform be something, that yes, addresses common sense, but safer roads? These illegal immigrants, can they read English? Are they going to be able to follow street signs? And with the point about insurance, we can't get American citizens to carry car insurance. How the heck are we going to get an illegal immigrant to carry car insurance? Riddle me that.
Okay, back to you,
Well, I
Lori.
would say first off, I mean the schizophrenic form of the law is just because you have your states' rights, you have your federal laws, and so those are kind of meshing. And what we have to do is that the state has to determine what is best for its particular, for the people here, for the public safety, for everything going on. And I think that it is very important that this is an incredible first step, and yet there's still some compromise because there is kind of this scarlet letter on the back of it. What basically this bill has said is that on the back of it there's going to be some sort of verbiage saying that you can't use this for voting, going to the airport, all of these sorts of other things.
And
but what
thank
it does
God
is
we need that.
Yes, you're. I mean, I can see what it is. What it does is it opens up the opportunity that when you flash this, you're flashing the scarlet letter.
We're going to
you're
allow
flashing-
people who are here illegally board a plane. We're going to allow people who are here illegally. I mean, we have to think of it from a national
Well, but no,
security
what I'm talking
perspective
about
as
is
well.
so. I mean, what you get, you're not going to have an undocumented person just going onto the plane to fly within the country.
If
Most
they didn't
likely, you're
have, I'm
not
saying,
going
if they
to
didn't
have
have that little blurb on the back of the license because
Yeah.
TSA, come on,
Well,
they're gonna.
I guess here's the
If
thing.
they
is
didn't
that-
have that, they'd let anybody go through.
So the biggest thing, so I was in the early 2000s, I spent 3 years in Guatemala in the Peace Corps, right? And what you would see is that you'd have these people going from Guatemala up to the United States, by foot, by car, by train, whatever it was. How did they get home? They got on a plane that went from the United States into their country. So you can't get on a plane even without that sort of identification. But I guess the biggest thing is what you're looking at is that, I mean,
I've
as,
tried
as
that,
Nar-
I couldn't.
as
Because
Nar
I
said,
lost my
as Nar said, here's
identification.
the
Because
biggest
I'm real. I'm like, you
But
can
some
Google
sort of
my
ID.
name and know that I'm real.
But the biggest thing about it is that you have people here in the country. They're working here in the country. They're contributing to the economy. I think the numbers out there are saying that undocumented workers contribute about $150 billion in economic activity. Something like 6 or 7 billion go into Social Security, which they don't have the right to pull out of, right? So, but they're still putting into the system. And so you have this idea of how do you continue that economic growth? Is you give them the license, you make it so that that their cars can't get impounded. Because when you look at it, not only is it the impounding the car is not because it's illegal; it's because they're here illegally. It's a revenue generator for the U.S. The problem is then you have people like your story here,
Right.
where they end up without it.
Well, listen, if they haven't gotten, proper driving lessons,
How about
and
training?
gone through,
I mean, training. Because here's the thing: they're going to get behind the wheel anyways.
and
right?
if they
They're gonna
can't
get behind the wheel.
afford certain amenities, how are they going to afford,
Insurance.
getting insurance, proper training?
Well,
and
I
it's
mean,
a
you
What are you guys
liability.
talking about? Folks, you're taking a class of people and saying because they're here illegally without the documentation that they don't live a normal life?
I agree
What an
completely.
absurd comment to make. These folks who are illegal here are working hard, doing hard, paying taxes, doing everything that all of us do.
Don't look at me, I'm
Isn't
not
it-
saying that.
Well, the comment that we should somehow give them some inferior status. I should be way over on that side of the bill. I'm not just yes in favor of this bill. I'm yes in favor of taking that ridiculous labeling
Yeah, I would agree with that
off
one.
the back. This
It's not giving
puts us-
inferior status. There are rules and regulations. That is what our country is founded on. It's
Well,
laws. So
I guess
every
the
one of
biggest
the
thing-
people, everyone sitting here has been an immigrant. Nobody was in this
Yeah.
country
Oh, no, I
originally.
agree. We are
Every one
a
of us
country
came,
of
and when-
immigrants.
And when we came here, we